Hey guys, it's the wonderful Mr. Woods here, bringing you another gameplay commentary, this time featuring Ryze in the top lane. I just played this game today, and I picked Ryze in the top lane mainly because I'm going against a Nasus here. Let me slow this down a little bit. So Ryze is becoming more and more of a popular top laner, just because he does really well against melee champions. And he was a mid laner for a long time, and you can still play him in the mid lane. The reason I recommend him top lane is just because he can bully a lot of the top laners unless they're ranged, and even some of those top laners he can bully. But the reason he's so good is in the top lane is just because he takes a while to ramp up, and a lot of the mid lane champions, if you think champions like LeBlanc, Syndra. Champions like that, they tend to have a quicker ramp-up time than Ryze, so he can get screwed over if they ramp up quicker than him and they're able to take advantage of that. So you can see here I'm just, harassing Nasus as much as I can. Right now my main primary objective is to farm and sort of not let Nasus farm, because, I think we all know what happens when we let Nasus farm. He gets big, he gets huge, and then there's really nothing you can do. So I'm just trying to harass him down as much as I can, try to push him out of the lane. He does have a lot of sustain right now. He's got a flask and a bunch of pots. As you can see, I did not know who I was going to be up against, so I started with, I thought it might be a 2v1 lane for some reason, so I started with cloth armor and five potions and a mana potion. I am spec'd a little bit into the utility tree, so I do have extra gold, starting gold. I take that skill. I believe my masteries are 5, 6, and 19, something like that. I don't know if that adds up correctly. Yeah, actually it does. So I think it's 5, 6, 19. I take the cooldown reduction in the offense tree, as well as Butcher, so I can last hit minions a little bit easier. If you feel like you're comfortable last hitting minions with Ryze, I think his auto attack is sort of shitty, so I like to take Butcher just to give me that little extra help when last hitting minions. But if you feel comfortable that you're going to be able to farm well with his auto attack, once you get your tier, you're really going to be trying to farm with his skills anyway, so it's really up to you. And then in the defense tree, I just take whatever I can after whatever I have left over after I get all the stuff that I want from the utility tree, which is I want the cooldown reduction, and I want the gold. I want the biscuit skill. I want the buffs. I don't know if I take that or not. I'll have to check. But I'll try to list that down below in the description. So as you can see here, I'm just continuing to harass Nasus as much as possible. Every time he comes up to get a last hit, I'm trying to harass him. I'm even running up here just to harass him, and that actually pushes him off the minions. So what that does is when he's not by his minions and I'm attacking him, the ranged minions will not target me. So that's a good thing to remember. As you can see here, he's getting extremely low. Unfortunately, right here, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get him, and I'm out of mana. So that's one of the things you really have to manage your mana with Ryze. And that's also another reason I take the biscuits, so that early game I'm able to use a biscuit and get some mana back, which is nice. So obviously a pretty standard build on Ryze. Top lane, you want to be sort of a little bit more tanky, so you want to be looking around at the other lanes, who's winning, who's losing, and kind of let that determine what your build's going to be. Obviously you want to build for your lane opponent, but if you got someone like Nasus who you're just bullying the crap out of, you don't necessarily have to build directly for him. Like, I'm not going to spam a bunch of armor just because I'm against Nasus when the Katarina in mid lane is you'll see this game, she's going to get really fed. So standard build is tier right away as soon as you go back. I do take teleport on Ryze top lane, so I'm going to be able to just go back really quick, buy that tier, and then teleport right back to lane. Early game, you mostly just want to be using your teleport to get back to lane, like first 10-15 minutes, somewhere in there. Maybe around 15 minutes. You can start looking for maybe a gank bot lane or, like a teleport gank. So here I know he's not going to be able to push the lane that fast, so I just teleport back, pick up my tier. And that cloth armor is going to be turning into Glacial Shroud, which builds into Frozen Heart. and which is also another excellent item in Ryze. Gives him armor, gives him cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction is extremely important on Ryze. It ups your damage potential by a huge amount, which is why I take all 10% cooldown reduction that I can get from Masteries. And I know that most people go 21-9 or 0-21-9 or, you know, any combination thereof, and that's fine. And the Masteries that I use to Ryze are a little wonky, but I get everything that I want, and I don't just spend a bunch of points in a certain tree just to get to 21. Like I don't really need 21 points in utility. I just don't. I can't see it. So here's another strategy I use. Whenever a melee champion comes up to me, I wait till he gets just outside of auto attack range, and then I use my God, what the hell is it called? His binding, rune prison. Excuse me. I use my rune prison, and then if he's close enough, you can bounce your E off of him several times from back and forth from you to him. Spell flux. Excuse me. You can bounce your spell flux back and forth from you to him, because actually you will act as a bounce. So that's nice. You can get some really good damage off. Unfortunately, I don't think this Nasus realized, but his slow lasts a lot longer than my spell flux. So regardless of whether I use, or I'm sorry, my rune prison. So regardless of whether I use that or not, once it wore off, he still could have run up to me and queued me or what have you, whatever you wanted to do. Here I see Maokai coming in, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know why you're revealing yourself when obviously you're not going to do anything. He was low on health. So I'm just continuing to farm. In situations like this, you might want to, you can either do one of two things. You can freeze the lane close to you so they can't do anything, or you can just keep it out in the middle of the lane, but kind of bully them off the minions if they try to, last hit the minions. And you can already see I have a substantial lead. I have 48 CS to Nasus is 33. And another thing, I'm not obviously my mechanics are the best. I'm not the best at CSing, but as long as I have a good lead on my lane opponent, I don't really care. I mean, obviously I'd like to be better at CSing. I'm always looking to improve in every area of the game, and as you should as well. But as long as you're having a good lead on your lane opponent, overall, it's not going to negatively affect you that much. Okay, so I'm just continuing to last hit. Pretty boring, standard stuff here. Nothing's really going on, so why don't we speed this up a little bit. I'm just putting a little harass on them, just farming up, doing my thing. Another thing to talk about here, I go in at them, but, without Ignite, Ryze isn't really a burst type mage. I mean, once he gets to the late game, he can definitely burst somebody down, but he's more of a sustained DPS type of caster. So he's going to be doing more damage over time than he will necessarily burst damage. So without Ignite, it's sort of hard to burst someone like Nasus down. Maybe if I was against someone like maybe like an ADC or someone really squishy, I could burst him down. But it's not about bursting someone down necessarily early game for Ryze. Ryze, you just want to get ramped up. You want to get your CS, you want to get your items. Ryze, needs those items. And right here, I could have killed him for sure, and I don't know why I didn't. I was playing sort of passively. And when you're in a lane where you can bully them with someone like Ryze against someone like Nasus, you really want to take advantage of that. You want to bully them as much as possible. And if you can kill them, kill them. I mean, if you go into a lane and you don't have Ignite and they do, and you kill them, I mean, they lost their advantage already. So he teleports back in. I pushed it into his tower, go back to base. He bought a Sheen for some reason. And this is a really odd choice on his part, because he's getting harassed to Kingdom Come, and he decides to buy an offensive item. So don't do what this Nasus is doing. If you're playing Nasus and you're against a Ryze, and he's harassing you nonstop, he's getting you down to low HP, and you keep having to base, buy magic resist. It's a very easy decision. Don't buy an offensive item when you know that there's a 90% chance that you're not going to kill him. Anyways, so I'm running back to lane here. I ran back to lane because I wanted to save my teleport. I knew that he wasn't going to be able to push the wave into my tower before I got back. So I just said, okay, I'm going to save my teleport, maybe do a teleport gank bottom. I told my bot lane, okay, let's, hey, I have teleport up. if you guys want to gank, whatever. So unfortunately they don't even end up warding a bush or warding anything that I can teleport to. So unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to do that. But I save my teleport just in case something happens and I need to teleport down for a dragon fight or whatever the case may be. And Nasus just uses. So if there is a dragon fight and I do need to teleport down, he's not going to be able to follow me, which is really good. And he doesn't have... For some reason, he ults right here. I don't know why. Maybe to intimidate me. I'm not really sure. I think he's just getting frustrated. But he won't be able to follow me, and he does not have any hard CC that could stop my teleport. So we're just farming up. The game is progressing. Our team is actually not doing that great. Masteries 3-3. So he's starting to ramp up a little bit. Vayne's 0-3, unfortunately. But she is against the Graves, which, like I've talked about in the past, is an extremely hard counter. And I mean, after Vayne got nerfed, a lot of things seem to counter. I mean, unless you're very skilled with Vayne, which some players are. They're skilled enough to turn a bad matchup into a good matchup. But for the most part, Vayne has trouble with almost every ADC now, except for a few. So, let's see. How is everybody else doing? Kali's 2-3. Kat's already getting pretty fed. She's 4-1, 98 CS, so she's doing well. As we look at the CS counter again, I have 76 CS. Nasus only has 61. So I'm up on him by, 10, 15, somewhere in there. I'm bad at math. Don't judge me. So I don't know what Nasus is doing. I'm continuing to harass him down, just trying to keep him low so that he can't initiate on me. And when he does try to initiate me, I just put a bunch of damage onto him and make him back off. So I'm trying to stack my tier here as much as possible. Just using my spells to last hit the minions if I can. If I think force a habit, I'll probably just try to last hit the minions. But with Ryze, you really don't want to do that necessarily. You want to be stacking your tier up. I mean, you'll probably get it regardless at like 20, 24 minutes. But I mean, the sooner you can get it, the better. So you can go ahead and build the Archangels. Now this game, I don't build it right away. And that's because on top Ryze, you want to be a little more tanky. So you may not be able to build the Archangels right away. Depending on how your other lanes are doing, how you're doing. You want to take all that into account. So Ryze is an extremely fun champion. I love playing him. A lot of people say he's one of those easy mode champions, but I personally think he takes a lot of getting used to. I think he takes a certain amount of skill to really master. I mean, I don't think anyone can really say that they've mastered a champion until they've played him a lot more than I've played Ryze. But I do really enjoy playing him, and I mean he's only 450 IP, so I definitely could recommend you guys pick him up. So here Nasus initiates on me. I just run back to my tower and put some good damage on him, and he uses ult for no reason. So I guess just to put a little extra damage on me, maybe harass me or something. And that's the problem with playing against a Nasus. He will, and here I use my ult just to clear the wave, do some extra damage to him. Unfortunately, I'm low on health. Maokai comes in, just pretty much one-shots me, and he gets away. So that's unfortunate, but it will happen. And the unfortunate thing with Nasus is that he, despite your attempts to harass him down, he just has so much lifesteal, especially once he gets to, later levels. It's just, his lifesteal is pretty nuts. So despite your attempts to harass him out of the lane, he'll just lifesteal it back up. I mean, against a Ryze, it's a lot more slow. And here my entire team comes in and says, you know what? We don't like you, Nasus. Fuck you in particular. We're going to come kill you. My entire team. So I was thankful for that. I said, yay, you guys got Nasus back. Thank you. And these were not my friends or anything. These are just randoms, but they're some nice guys. So here I come in the mid lane. Now you're about to see something really unfortunate. What you need to be doing at all times is keeping an eye on the score, on the counter, and see who's getting fed and who's not. At this time, I did not know that Katarina had a Death Cap, a Hextech Revolver, and an Amplifying Tome. And I have no magic resist at this point. I run per level magic resist glyphs on Ryze when I go top lane. So I wasn't sure. For some reason, I think I misclicked there, and she just runs in and kills me like immediately. So that's bad on my part. I kind of got caught right there. So at this point in the game, I'm not too happy with how I'm doing. I'm 0-2. I mean, I did bully Nasus a lot. He wasn't able to get the farm that he really needed. He finally built Spectre's Cowl, I believe is the item. Yes, to try to get some magic resist to deal with me, but I don't think it's gonna help that much. Unfortunately, yeah, and I do not have. That's one of the problems with Ryze as a champion, is that he sort of lacks items for magic penetration. So I mean, his E spell flux does give you some magic resistance shred, but it's not that much. So let's go back up to top lane. I'm just passively sitting here, just farming. Really, at this point of the game, you should be trying to make plays. You should be trying to make stuff happen, taking down towers, whatever you have to do to try to get the game moving along. Because the longer the game goes on against Nasus, the more difficult you're going to make it for yourself. And let's see, how many stacks is this bad boy up to? He is up to, what is that, 117, I believe? Let's see, yep. Well, 177 bonus damage. I don't know exactly if that's the amount of stack. Yeah, I guess that is the amount of stacks. So, like I said, the longer the game goes on, the more of a problem it's going to be. So, see, he tries to come on to me, and there's not really much he can do. I, root him in place and just do some damage to him. And he keeps trying to come to the side, and it's super obvious that someone, in my mind, it was super obvious that someone was here. I figured Maokai was here for sure. Obviously, you can see he's on the bottom side of the map. He's not here at all. But that's actually a really good strategy. If you make your lane opponent believe that there's someone there, then it can be sort of an effective trick to getting them to back off a little bit and play a little bit more passive. I know he's in the bush. I'm just ignoring him. And yes, as you can see, 1 Q does quite a bit of damage, since I don't have much armor at this point. Actually, I have none. So as you can see, I built a tier, and I'm building right into that Rod of Ages. Excellent item. And after that, I think I'm going to be getting magic resist, just because I know Cat is going to be a huge problem. And throughout this game, I continue to build magic resist, and it continues to not help at all. So here Masteries coming in for the gank. Just use my ultimate, put as much damage on him as I can. I'm auto-attacking in between my spells. Here I flash forward really quick just to get the last Q and take him out. It's unfortunate that I used flash, but I did get the kill, so it is worth, I would say, 300 gold. Gonna go back and get my Rod of Ages. So Mastery went the Feral Flare route, so he's getting pretty big. He's 8-4 now, so he's gotten a lot of kills. He has, let's see, it doesn't even tell me. I think I have to go to his actual character. He has, let me see, 5 stacks? Okay. So he's 5 stacks on his flare, so it's a little late in the game. It's already 20 minutes in the game, and he just got his flare, but it's still a really good item on Mastery. I would recommend it. I've tried it. The last game I played with Feral Flare Mastery actually got a pentakill, so I think it's a good item. They've nerfed it a lot, but it's still an excellent item. So here Maokai tries to come on to me, and I show him, yeah, you probably don't want to mess with me. Like, you're weak. I think he's, 1-4, and he's building AP Maokai. So that is probably why he was able to one-shot me at that point, because I have basically no magic resist. I actually changed out some of my magic resist for mana runes, mana glyphs, for this top lane build. Which will just give you a little bit extra early game boost, just so you can bully your lane opponent a little bit more, especially someone like Nasus. So your Qs would be just hitting a little harder. Normally in the laning phase, you only want to use Q to harass, just because it's the lowest cost of mana. All your other spells just cost way too much mana. So I wouldn't recommend using those for harassing. Oh, at least until you get your tier and you get it a little bit stacked up, then you can start using it. There you see Akali actually takes out Nasus. I don't know what he was doing down there. I think they're grouping. I don't know if they're doing Dragon or what's going on. But they're telling my teammates to get out. I don't know if they get out or not. But so they're just because Nasus left, I'm able to take a tower. Ryze is actually one of the worst tower pushers in the game. He's absolutely awful at it. But I'm able to take it down just because I have a lot of minions and a lot of time since Nasus decided to leave. So here I'm going to port back. I think I'm going to pick up, I'm going to pick up my Sorcerer shoes. You definitely need Sorcerer shoes, and the hard part about it is a lot of top laners have CC, and Ryze needs some form of magic pen. So it's a really hard decision to go between Sorc shoes and Merc treads. It's a really difficult decision. So what you can do is you can get Merc treads, and then later in your build you can build a Void Staff to help out with that. In this game, I built something that I normally never build, which is Abyssal Scepter, to give myself even more magic resist, because this Katarina was just doing so much damage, and she was bursting me down literally almost every team fight, and there's nothing I could do about it. I considered buying a GA, but I just decided to go for more magic resist. A GA might have been better in that situation where you're getting bursted down first. But the problem is that I didn't want to give her the reset. So here Graves walks up and just go in and do some damage on him and use my ultimate. And that's a good thing about it. See? Right there. Exactly my point. She flashes, jumps in, and just annihilates both me and Akali. So that's a Fed Katarina. She's now 10-5, Death Cap, Needlessly Large Rod, Hex Tech Revolver. So that's one of the problems that we're going to have to deal with in this game. Here they go after Lulu. Does she actually? I don't think she actually dies. Does she? Huh. So Graves ended up using his ultimate to take her out there. So I'm back in the game. Let's see, what do I buy? Yeah, I pick up a Negatron Cloak because I'm starting to realize that Katarina is going to be a huge problem. Now, normally in this situation, I would build a Frozen Heart immediately. Frozen Heart's just too good of an item on Ryze. Like, I mean, it is too good of an item. It gives Ryze everything he needs. It gives him a ton of mana. It gives him armor to add to his tankiness, and it gives him that cooldown reduction that he needs. 20% cooldown reduction that he desperately needs to do more damage. So normally in this situation, I'd be building that, but I have this sneaking suspicion that Katarina is going to be trying to kill me in every single fight. So I decide to delay my build a little bit to go for some magic resist. So, what do we got going on now? So, let's see. Our team is grouping around mid. I'm trying to just get this pushed because it was obviously I saw that it was pushed into my tower. Just get this pushing, just so I don't have to deal with it during the middle of a team fight and say, oh man, like we have a giant minion wave top. I want it to be constantly pushing into them. Now, I don't know what was going on with this guy. I saw him and he just started beelining for me, so I'm like, okay, there must be a bunch of other people around here and they're all gonna try to take me out. But what happened was I think he was either DC'd or something. I don't know what was going on. And then after I kind of thought he was DC'd, I'm like, oh man, should I kill him? Like, I don't know what's going on. And right there, I mean, it doesn't look like he's DC'd. He's running around in a circle. So I don't know if he did it on purpose or what. But anyways, I'm just going to ignore that and continue on with my game and try to help my team get this victory. So now we're all going to push as a team, I believe. Let's speed this up a little bit. Running down mid lane. I'm like, okay, you guys need to give me the blue because Akali doesn't really need it, in my eyes at least. Or Ryze can make a lot better use of it. Here, Katarina gets caught. We kill her really fast. And now the great thing about Ryze is, and the reason that I see people take Ghost on Ryze, I see people take a lot of other spells, take Flash on Ryze. And the reason is, a Flash Rune Prison, can be a game changer. I mean, absolutely. You flash in, you bind them for, at level 5, what is this? 1.75 seconds. So almost 2 seconds of binding. Now, I mean, obviously it's not as ridiculous as like a Morgana Q, a Dark Binding. But if you flash, you Rune Prison them and use your ultimate and you can just blow somebody up, and your team can obviously initiate on them just by your ability to lock them down. So I highly recommend you take Flash. You can choose to take Ignite in the top lane if you really want to. I prefer Teleport. I was not able to make any plays in this game, but it is a great playmaking tool. Obviously, with this patch, even if you teleport to a tower, the time has gone up a little bit, but it's still an excellent summoner spell. And I'm not really trying necessarily to kill my lane opponent. I mean, obviously you want to. Every game, we're all bloodthirsty. We want to kill our lane opponents. But with Ryze, all you really care about is getting your farm. If you happen to get some kills, they happen to come your way, I'm not complaining. You know, I'll take advantage of that. But really, what I want to do is get my farm and get my items. So here they try to do a little mini push. It doesn't really work out. And as we're pushing down, this is like the next tower. This is this second tier tower. I decide to get out of here, go back, try to pick up some items. I don't know. What do I buy here? Let me see. Yeah, I have enough for my Archangel, so I just go ahead and straight up pick that up. That's going to be a huge boost for me. I'm almost at Seraphs. I think I'm like 20 mana away from Seraphs. So just go ahead and buy it. Normally you don't want to buy it unless your tier is fully stacked. But in situations where you're really close and you know that you're going to get it within a couple spell casts, you could just go ahead and get it. And that's going to be a huge boost for me, for my damage and my power, just because it gives me so much mana. And obviously Ryze, I mean, if you guys don't know this, his spells do scale with mana. So the more mana he has, the more damage he's going to do. So here I see Nasus coming in here, and I think, all right, let's blow this guy up. So I use my Q, use my ultimate, use everything on him, and boom, just burst him down. Now, one thing to note is you can use your ultimate as a Q reset. Now, if you don't know this about Ryze, all of his spells, when he uses them, lower the cooldown of all his other spells by 1 second. And the reason this is important is because basically you want to use as many Qs as possible. So a good combo might be, and wow, I just realized that Nasus has his entire inventory filled with sight stones. Okay, what a troll. But anyways, and there you see Katarina just shitting on everybody. It's pretty ridiculous. So obviously I have magic resistance at this point, but it's still not enough. I still need more apparently. Or I just need to not even ever get close to her. But anyways, the reason that's important is because a good combo, like I was saying, would be to use your Q, then use another spell such as your W, then use your Q again, then use your E, then use your Q again, then use your R, then your Q again, and you can use your R as a Q reset. So your ultimate will lower the cooldown of your Q by 1 second. So what I tend to do is I'll throw my Q, and while it's in midair, I'll press my ultimate. The Q will then be empowered by the ultimate, but the ultimate will also give it a reduce the cooldown by 1 second. So use your Q, use your ultimate while your Q is still in the air. Use your Q again. Use your W, Q, E, Q. Just, keep spamming everything on opposites of the Q. So, Q, one skill. Q, another skill. Q, another skill. And it's up to you what combination that you want. It's really up to you to find the best rotation for you and what works the best for you. I tend to not be able to use anything before my W if I'm trying to catch somebody out. So I'll have to use W to catch them, and then run up to them, and then start using my spells. So it doesn't always work out to where you can do your perfect combo exactly what you would want to do. So here I pick up Banshee's Veil. The reason I want to pick up Spirit Visage is because a lot of Katarina's damage comes from her being able to mark you with her Q. So when she throws that little bouncing blade out, and it hits me, and it does not have any effect on me, her follow-up damage is going to be a lot less. So that's the reason I get that. So here I'm just cleaning up some farm in bot lane. Just trying to get as much farm as I want. Normally, I mean, you can see I'm at 207 farm right now. I'm in the most in the game. But normally I'd want to have a lot more at this point. 32 minutes in the game. Probably want to have somewhere around 250, 260, somewhere in there. I mean, that's just for me personally. I know some people might have 300 or, 320 or whatever crazy amount of farm they might have. But just by my own personal standards, that's sort of where I like to be at. Here they jump onto me, not realizing sort of how tanky I am, and then they immediately stop focusing me because I do too much damage. Now Katarina jumps onto me, and boom, I die once again. So it's really unfortunate that she got so fed. And then she's able to kill Akali, but the Ignite is going to take her out. And then they're diving our turrets. They actually do end up getting the ace, I believe. No, actually, Master Yi still. Oh, he's that's why he's bot lane, backdooring. Well, I mean, I don't really know if you can call it backdooring, but he's down there taking everything in sight, which is one of his strong suits. So fast forward a little bit, he takes down the inhibitor. I don't know if he gets to the Nexus turrets or not. Oh, he actually does. Wow. Yeah, Master Yi, ladies and gentlemen. And does he get executed? He does. Good lord. So here I see Nasus standing in front of our fountain. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Screw this guy. I just take him out. Graves. I just flash onto him, rune prison him. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Those are the kind of plays that you can make. You can flash rune prison. Someone who thinks that they have no chance of getting caught, you can catch them. Catch them and burst them down. And you're starting to see that late game Ryze burst. It's pretty nasty. Once I get my all my items built, I actually ended up selling the armor item I had just because I wanted to get that magic resist quicker. But once I should have kept that, but what I realized is I needed to build a void staff just because I need more magic penetration. But then I ended up building Abyssal, just for more magic resistance Katarina. I just feel like I need it more. So I am going towards their blue. Thought I was going to get it, but Akali decides to take it because she's a bitch. And we're just coming down here, just trying to slowly start moving in on their base. And here I catch myself a delicious Maokai. Use my ultimate to catch up to him, rune prison, use my full combo, and Q's up rather quickly and take him out. And my whole team is just taking them out as we speak. Mastery destroys Garen, and that is the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary on Ryze in the top lane. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, a comment, a favorite, and just any questions. Be sure to let me know. Check the description. I'll have my Twitter handle as well as the runes and the masteries that I use on Ryze in the top lane. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day.